What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 31 of the Formula 1 2019 Noob Career Mode. This episode is going to be coming from the Red Bull Ring in Austria, as we're going to go and quickly go through and check the messages here to see what we got going on. I did say in a previous episode that we're going to start cutting out the first qualifying session, but this time we're going to leave it in. As you can see that the major aerodynamic downforce upgrade has failed there, which really sucks, because with a track like the Red Bull Ring you really want it to be on there because it's really handy. But nevertheless, we'll just get it on at the end of the episode, and might look at doing the other aerodynamic upgrade there as well, or even maybe look at going over to the chassis side of things. But we'll just have to wait and see at the end of the episode. But we do have the ultimate upgrade over there on the chassis. Having a quick look at the chart now as well, and Alfa Romeo have just been absolutely dominating the R&D charts, but it looks like they're starting to plateau a little bit. But we'll just have to wait and see how that translates into on-track performance, as very shortly we are going to go to the Austrian Grand Prix for qualifying one here at the Red Bull Ring.
Thank you for joining us once again for today's qualifying session. Sit back, relax, and enjoy what we hope will be a fantastic contest for pole position. Looking at this field today, Anthony, do you think we're going to see anyone take a chance? Maybe run the hard tyres and save some of the grippier tyres for the race tomorrow?
Well, I'd be surprised in all honesty. It's only the front runners that really have the pace to get away with that. And even then, at the end of the day, it's a big risk. Track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race, so I doubt we're going to see anyone trying it. I have been wrong before though. We certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking. But if it were me in the car, I would want to be on the fastest tyre for my qualifying lap, without a doubt.
So we're on quickly here into qualifying one. We'll go through turn one into the DRS zone. Now we've been pretty strong here all weekend so far in all the free practice. I know I haven't been showing qualifying one lately, but this video was going to be a little bit lacking without it. As we lock up quite heavily there into turn two there at the top of the hill, along the DRS straight, along the back, as we go down to this third gear corner here to go into the infield section. Now, I believe that we're pretty strong here. This is probably our best little sector of the track, this one little infield section. And as you can see there, we've gone purple to the second sector there, which doesn't really amount to much yet because this is early on in the first qualifying session, so not everyone's laid down a lap yet. But we come across the final corner, get the DRS on, we cross the line as provisional P1 with a 106.172, and that was actually good enough for first place with fast forwarding the rest of the session. And we scroll down a little bit, we can see that Valtteri Bottas, our teammate, is in P6, sorry. Charles Leclerc is in P8, Lucas Weber in P9. Going to scroll down a little bit further, we see Devon Butler down in 17th and George Russell down in 20th, so they both again miss out on Q2. And we'll go straight into the second qualifying session now, and as you can see, we're trying to qualify in on the medium tyres, which means we don't need to go stupidly fast, we just need to be able to get into the top 10, which with the pace that we've got here this weekend, I believe that we can achieve this quite easily. And it looks like we're also going to have a little bit of traffic up here on the back straight, which could help and hinder us both at the same time. It'll help us because we'll be able to get the slipstream off them on the straightaways, but it will hinder us because in the corners we'll get dirty air and we'll get some mad understeer. That's what we don't want, and to see Perez is actually the car that's immediately in front of us. So we're not getting the effects of the dirty air off him yet, but And come those final couple of corners, we very well might, because we seem to be just absolutely pouring on the speed onto him. You see, he's just getting closer and closer with every corner that we're taking at the moment. Now this is a fairly fast section. As you can see there, we did get the slight effect of the dirty air running a little bit wide. We hold on to it for the final corner. We open up the DRS. We actually start catching up to him. And we go again, another 106. This time it's a 106.9. See, Valtteri Bottas there in P3, Lucas Weber in 4, myself in 6, and Charles Leclerc in P8. Lewis Hamilton is actually out of Q2 here. That is crazy. And so is Sebastian Vettel. Both the Haas cars are out of Q2. That is crazy, considering they're one of the better cars at the moment in the R&D charts. And now we're on to Q3, and as you can see, this is the one at the end of the session, so this is going to be our fast lap for sure and certain. At the moment, we do still hold the top time after the first run in the qualifying session here. And we're also a little bit down on our first time so far. But coming out of turn 2 there, we go green very briefly, but it's back into the red, so we're going to have a monumental effort here to regain a green delta and improve on our time. We're actually going red to the first sector. We'll see what happens when we come to the second sector marker, which is just after this corner. We're actually up now, and we're starting to go up at a rate of knots. We had a terrible middle sector in our first run, but we're definitely improving on it. We've gone purple to the second sector, and because this is the end of the session, that purple to the middle sector is actually very important. We take all the curb on the entry and exit of the penultimate corner. Coming around the final corner, we're still up, and looks like we've improved our time.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was
it's going to be
fantastic
pole.
drive.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting
So
the
we've got
grid.
ourselves
Mercedes,
on pole. We've got
Raikkonen
Lucas
and
Weber
Max Verstappen. With
sitting
qualifying
in
wrapped
4th.
up, we now have our grid line up for the
Valtteri
big race
Bottas
tomorrow.
sitting in
Be
5th,
sure to
and
join us
Charles
then
Leclerc
for what will no
is going to
doubt
be starting
a
out of
fantastic
P6
race.
here. So that's going to be interesting come time for the race. We're going to check out the rivalry updates and the resource point update at the moment. $220 points there for qualifying. Not a bad effort at all. It brings us up to 1,173 so far, after getting the full amount of points from practice.
All right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
We'll do one last little check of the weather. It looks like we could have some rain towards the end of the race, so that's not going to phase us one little bit. So let's get it in for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Let's start by talking about Kimi Raikkonen. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Mercedes in pole position then, edging out Raikkonen, who'll start P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Weber, Valtteri Bottas, and Leclerc, Gasly, Giovinazzi, Hülkenberg, and Daniel Ricciardo, Perez, Magnussen, Lewis Hamilton, and Norris, Vettel, Butler, Alexander Albon, and Carlos Sainz. Russell and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So Lance Stroll there
Now that
with
we've got some
grid
points on
penalties
the
to
board,
start
let's
the race.
continue this form and aim for another
We'll
top
have a
10
look
finish.
at the strategy here, and it looks like we're going to be very sweet on tyres indeed. So we're not going to be too worried at all. We're going to actually make that soft tyre stint maybe a little bit longer here, because I believe the tyres can take it. I reckon it's going to add 0.12 to my time, but I reckon we'll be alright here, especially if the rain does come at the end of the session. So now we're going to go to the 5 red lights. The revs are rising, the adrenaline's pumping, the heart's thumping, and we are off and away for the Austrian Grand Prix. We immediately go over to the right to cover from Kimi Räikkönen, and Kimi just takes it and stays in behind us, battling away with Max Verstappen there for P2, but it looks like he's got the advantage at the moment. And from here, we are definitely leading from the front, as things for us might not be getting too exciting, but we could expect some action from deeper in the pack. Especially if someone's going to go for a better strategy than us. Because the undercut is a very powerful tool here, so we might see a couple of people maybe try that to try and gain an advantage over us up here at the front. As we come around the last few set of corners into the penultimate corner that would lead us towards the front straight, and around the final corner, and Kimi Räikkönen has actually caught up to us quite a fair bit here. We do go provisionally the fast time for the race, and Kimi Räikkönen's going for the big dive up on the inside in turn 1. He couldn't get it pulled off. We're going to have to check the replay on that. We were side by side all the way to the apex, and we squeezed them off and managed to get the position. We move on to the end of lap 3. We got a virtual safety car out.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low,
And it's Devin Butler. He's out of the race and out of the Austrian Grand Prix. And looks like his engine is smoking. So that is not good for the Toro Rosso team. Especially not for Devin Butler, considering he hasn't been getting the results. And now we move on to the end of lap 8. And this is where we're coming in for our pit stop to go onto the soft tyres. I could have come in when the virtual safety car was initially called, but I completely forgot. Nice, easy pit stop for us. No traffic whatsoever to contend with. But looks like we're going to be coming out in a little bit of a pack when we come out of the pits here, which could make things a little bit difficult for us. But I don't think it will actually affect us all too much, as we come out behind our fellow Aussie Daniel Ricciardo. We immediately do a switchback on him from the inside to the outside, and we get the move made before the braking zone into turn 2. And now we're just going to try and apply the power and get away from him. We move on to the end of lap 9 now, and we've got a lot of traffic to deal with here. Carlos Sainz actually squeezes us off the track. We give him a little bit of a tap on the way through as we also go and pass Perez. DRS is wide open. We've got the risk fuel mixture going because we're going to try and go for the hot lap of the Grand Prix right now. We now move on to lap 10, where we get a pass on Kevin Magnussen as he was going to go into the pits. A little bit of a sketchy overtake there. Now we move on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. We have a 2.1 second gap, I think that's said, to Lucas Weber in P2. It looks like on the mini-map it might be a little bit longer than that. But this has just been an absolutely dominating Grand Prix for us. I mean, we got a win here last season in the Williams as well, but we got a higher AI setting as well this season. So you know, it's almost like, what do I do? There's certain races where, you know, I just get absolutely dominated. But right now, as you can see, you know, I'm absolutely dominating the AI as well. I'm not sure whether I should think about upping the AI difficulty or not. But that doesn't matter right now. We're going around the penultimate corner to the final corner. We get a track limit warning. But it's a win at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Now this is looking like it's becoming a very scary prospect here. Myself and the two Alfa Romeos on the podium again. This is what, the third or the fourth time this has happened? It's almost getting a little bit too scary that I have to always share the podium with Lucas Weber and Kimi Raikkonen.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Another solid result for our championship leader today, allowing them to extend the gap between themselves and the rest of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Sebastian Vettel would definitely be my first choice. He showed up a lot of the drivers out on the track today and didn't show any signs of slowing down.
It's time to see
So
how
it's time
things
for
are
us to have a
shaping
quick
up
little look
in the
at the
Constructors'
results here at the
Championship.
moment.
Current
We got
championship
ourselves in
leaders still
first
hold
Lucas
top
Weber
spot,
in
but that
P2.
gap is getting smaller.
But Charles
After
Leclerc
an event
in
like that,
P5
who knows what the sport has
and
in store for us
Valtteri
next
Bottas
time.
in
Be
P8
sure
there.
to join us again
So we scroll
as we
down a
continue
little
to
bit
bring you
further,
the
we can
latest
see
excitement
that
in
we've got
Formula
George
One.
Russell all the way down in 19th position and Devon Butler all the way down in P20, being the only DNF in this race. Now we're going to go and have a look at the standings. And we are extending our lead in the Drivers' Championship, but we've got to go over and have a look at the Constructors a little bit here. Because with both the Alfa Romeos doing fairly well, it looks like they might start closing the gap a little bit, especially if Valtteri doesn't start performing more. But for now, we're looking pretty alright. And now it's time to go and have our interview with
Great
Claire.
work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. How do you think Devon will react to having not been able to finish today's race? There wasn't much between you and Lucas by the finish today. You and Lucas seem to enjoy yourselves up on the podium today. Was there really any competition for you today? Appreciate your time.
Alright, it's time for us to check on the update to the rivalry now. And we get the 5 ticks on both of them. Which brings us to 22 and 21 respectively. So the next couple of episodes we could very well get both rivalries won here. So it won't be the next episode, but probably the episode after that in which we get it done. Have a look at the resource point gain as well now. And that's 404 resource points that we're going to gain. As we go and have a look at the messages.
Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews.
It looks like
On to the
we
next one.
have
Looks
only
like one of your
one
rivals
interview
has also been
transcript,
invited
so
to a
if you
historical
guys want to
event.
read the interview that
This
they
could
did
be a
with
good opportunity
Lucas
to create
Weber,
more
don't
rivalry
forget to
with the press and
pause
expand
so
your
you can
reputation.
have a read. Now it's time to go and have a look at the R&D tree to see what we're going to do. First and foremost, we've got to put on the aerodynamic upgrade that we lost from the last episode. And we're going to go and put the other one on, which is only going to cost us 756, which is amazing. It's such a great feeling being able to do that for so cheap. And we got 457 points left, so there's not really much that we can do from this point on out. But over here on the chassis side of things, which is where we're probably going to start working on next, we do have the ultimate upgrade just sitting there ready and waiting. We've also got those 2 majors, which lead on to another 2 ultimate upgrades. We won't be able to progress the tree anymore until we do those 2 ultimate upgrades. But it could be worth looking at doing maybe an efficiency upgrade or a quality upgrade, but I'm not quite sure yet. But for now, guys, that's going to end this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next episode, I'll see you guys next time.